Hey everybody, Captain B-Nard back here with another Wi-Fi battle. So today we have a battle against none other than the infamous JoeyFontaine. This is going to be our 7th match here on Scarlet and Violet. Those of you who have been following me for any length of time will be no strangers to Joey. He is our friend and fellow PokeTuber. We've known him a long time, battled him countless times over the years. And so, yeah, we're going to go ahead and write the next chapter in the rivalry. We'll take a look and see what he has in store for us. He's got a very strong-looking team there. As you can see, we agreed to do more of a mid-tier team, and this time he actually brought the appropriate team, which is nice. So, looking at my team, it is the same one that I was using in the last game. This is the Cleaver team, of course. So, what do I want to lead with in this one is the question. That is a good question. I have a couple of different options here. But this could go one of a few different ways, actually. What way do we think it's going to go, though? You know what? I think we're actually going to lead with the Quagsire. I think that's probably the right play based on what he has. And, yeah, we'll see how that works out. Alright, so there he is. And he is going to go ahead and lead with the Cleaver, kind of as expected, as we lead with the Quagsire. So this is kind of what I was looking for here. Now, I had a feeling that he might either win the speed tie or outspeed outright, so I did not want to do a Cleaver face-off here. So right out of the gate, we're just going to go straight for a Liquidation, try to get rid of this thing early, as we know he's going to outspeed us. He goes for the Stone Axe. He does connect, doesn't do much damage to us, as he does take some Rocky Helmet chip, breaking a potential Focus Sash. It does set the Stealth Rock up on my side of the field, which sucks, as we are going to go with a Liquidation in return, and that will definitely take care of that Cleaver from that range, knocking him down to 5 Pokemon. So that's pretty much best case scenario for me for that first turn there. That was pretty much the best I could have hoped for, I think, other than I suppose we could have tried to hope he wasn't Scarf and lead with our Cleaver, but I didn't really want to bank on that. So now he's going to go ahead and come in with the Conkeldurr, interestingly enough. So there that thing is. Now, that's going to present us with a choice here. So we don't have a ton of switches to Conkeldurr, especially if he goes for a knockoff. I kind of want to just stay in with Quagsire, although honestly, Quagsire could potentially be pretty useful against some other Pokemon on his team. So while I don't want to lose Quagsire, I don't know that we really have a switch to this thing. I guess we could go for the Mesprit, but if he goes knockoff, that's going to be devastating, so I kind of don't want to do that. We probably won't do a ton of damage to this thing. I feel like we have to stay in here. Let's go ahead and go for a Recover, see what he wants to do here. He does go for the knockoff. Does a lot of damage to us, as he does take some Rocky Helmet chip. We do get rid of the Rocky Helmet, or he does get rid of the Rocky Helmet. We do go for the Recover here, which is something that is going to go ahead and heal us up to almost full, and then he gets burned with the Flame Orb, revealing he is, of course, a Guts set. So we know he has knockoff, so that's obviously bad news. I feel like we could try to save the Quagsire, because it is kind of useful for a lot of the Pokemon on his team, but again, we just really don't have a great switch to this thing. The best thing we could do is switch into the Mesprit and hope he goes for the Fighting move, which, based on what now that he's already knocked off, he probably will do that, so I am kind of inclined to do that. So we're going to take a gamble and do that. I do kind of want to preserve Quagsire. Even without the item, it looks pretty useful. He probably doesn't knock off again unless he makes the good prediction. So we'll come in with Mesprit, take the Stealth Rock damage, as he does go Drain Punch this time. So it doesn't do a ton of damage to us, but a decent amount, given that we resist it and we are max HP. He does get some HP back with the from the Drain Punch, as we get some HP back with the leftovers. So He is going to also take some burn damage here. Now, we're in an interesting situation because we actually could go Terra, bust out our Terra, and go Terra Fairy to go ahead and resist the knockoff and then try to deal some big damage to this thing. I kind of doubt he stays in here. If he does, we know he's not Assault Vest, so we might actually take him out with a Psychic, and I don't really want to burn my Terra just yet here, given what he has going on. I feel like the Terra could be more useful on one of our other Pokemon, potentially. And Mesprit's already tripped a little bit. So I think we know we're going to outspeed this thing, obviously, so we're just going to go for a Psychic here and see what he wants to do. So he does switch. He doesn't want to stay in on this matchup, which is definitely understandable. And he is going to go directly into the Hisuian Goodra, which was kind of as expected. But we do go for the Psychic here, which is going to do basically nothing to this thing. That looks to be a very defensive variant of Goodra, which is bad news, obviously, as we do get some HP back with the leftovers. He could actually be Assault Vest, given that he doesn't have a recovery item. So, granted that, we don't exactly know what this thing is going to want to do to us. If he's Assault Vest, then he won't have a setup move, which means he's probably just going to go right on the offense here. This is going to be kind of a tough decision, honestly, for us. We can't stay in, we know that. If he starts setting up, that could be bad, but I feel like he's probably going to be offensive since we didn't see a recovery item. So we're going to switch into the Alolan Muck here to try to take his special attack and see where that gets us, as there it is. And we do take the Stealth Rock, unfortunately, as he is going to go for a Flash Cannon, so that's kind of fine. Actually does decent bit of damage to us, but we do get some HP back with the leftovers, which is fine. So I would venture to bet that this thing's probably Assault Vest, given that. So I think what we're going to do here, our best play definitely is just to go for that stab knockoff, so that's exactly what we're going to do, as he is going to go for the switch, which is fine. We're going to get a big knockoff on something, which is going to be useful, as he does come back in with the Conkeldurr, so maybe that won't be super useful. But we do go for a big knockoff here. Does some decent chip damage to that thing, gets rid of its Flame Orb, which doesn't matter at all. And then we are going to get some HP back with the leftovers, as he is going to take some burn damage. So, unfortunately, we don't have a ton to do to this thing. We're definitely not going to win a war of attrition against it, and sadly, we really just don't have a lot. We really don't have much of anything to answer this Conkeldurr, which is really bad, obviously. He could easily go for a knockoff here, predicting the Mesprit to come in, and if he does, that's obviously going to be devastating. Unfortunately, we just really do not have a lot for this Conkeldurr. I think our best course of action here might actually be to stay in with the Muck, as much as I don't want to take a big hit with Muck. I feel like our best bet is we just have to try and whittle this thing down. So we're going to just Poison Jab him for damage. As we do outspeed, we get a nice Poison Jab off, which does do some really good damage to this thing. He does actually overpredict and knock off, which does knock us down to about a third HP and get rid of our leftovers, as he is going to take some more burn damage. And now he's within range that he cannot survive another attack, which is actually perfect. So he could switch, but I feel like we just have to make the obvious play and go Poison Jab, as he does just Mach Punch. And it actually is enough. I'm a little bit surprised by that, but it actually is enough to take us out. I kind of thought we could take that, but no, we can't take it. When we go, we lose Muck and we go down to 5 there. So that's a little unfortunate. The only good news here is that it does kind of open the door a little bit, and I feel like we go into Mesprit. I think that's really our best bet here. So we'll go into Mesprit, and we'll take more Stealth Rock damage, unfortunately. And so, fortunately, the Conkeldurr is about finished. He could Mach Punch us for chip damage, which he probably will do. But our best play here is just to go Dazzling Gleam, so that's what we're going to do. And we'll see what he wants to do. He could switch to save it, but no, he's just going to Mach Punch for chip. Still does some decent chip to us, unfortunately. Conkeldurr is just an absolute monster, but we do finally go for the Dazzling Gleam and get rid of that Conkeldurr at last, knocking him down to 4, which is good. And then we are going to regain some HP with the leftovers. So, Conkeldurr definitely did quite a number on us, but fortunately that thing is gone. So, yeah, so that is something. So, we'll see what he wants to come in with now in response to that. It is going to be the Goodra once again. kind of as expected. So that thing comes in. And so we could... we have a little bit of a choice to make on our hands here, because I feel like... how do we want to play this? I don't really want to just switch Quagsire in willy-nilly in case he goes for the Dragon move, which he very well might. I also don't want to Terra, because I feel like he could easily just go for the Steel move. As much as I really kind of want to set a Calm Mind up, to be completely honest, but I don't know. I feel like Mesprit probably isn't going to be super useful against the rest of his team, so probably the best thing we can do is just try to chip this thing. Best move we have is probably either Shadow Ball or Dazzling Gleam. So let's just hit him with a Shadow Ball. Maybe we can get the special defense drop. We know we outspeed him, so we'll go for that. Doesn't do much of any damage to this thing, as it's definitely Assault Vest. He goes Draco Meteor. That's not quite enough to get rid of us, actually, and as he does take a hard special attack drop there, which is nice, and then we do get some HP back with the leftovers. So that is an interesting turn of events. I feel like we could switch to save the Mesprit just as fodder at this point, because he's at -2 special attack. So I feel like we could definitely make that play. But at the same time, I don't know that Mesprit's super useful. Having a fodder switch might be useful. So I feel like... how do we play this? I don't know. I kind of just want to let Mesprit go down here. So we can get a clean switch into something. I'm not feeling like a gambling man right now. So yeah, we'll just go ahead and fire off another Shadow Ball here. So he does stay in. We go for another Shadow Ball. It's going to be doing basically nothing to this thing. We don't get a special attack drop, unfortunately. He does go Flamethrower, and even with the special attack drop, that'll be more than enough to finish us off and knock us down to 4 Pokemon. So now we finally get a clean switch against this Goodra, which is going to be helpful. The only question is, what do we really have to take on the Goodra? And we have pretty much 2 choices, I think. We have either the Quagsire or the Cleaver. I kind of feel like Cleaver could be the right play here. So I think we are actually just going to go ahead and go Cleaver. So we're going to go Cleaver. And we are going to take the Stealth Rock damage, unfortunately. Now, I feel like our best play in this situation is actually, we do carry fighting moves, and he does have a fighting resistance on deck. However, I still feel like our best play here is to go ahead and Terastallize into a fighting type, hit something as hard as possible with a close combat, so that's exactly what we're going to do. He does switch out. He probably is predicting the fighting move, so he's probably going to go Noivern here, if I had to guess. Yeah, he is going to go Noivern. But we might still two-shot this thing with close combat. We'll have to see. So he does Frisk to see our Choice Scarf, as we are just going to go ahead and bust out our Terra here. We really could have caught him slipping there if we would have went for the Rock move, but that was a little too big of a risk, as we are going to go ahead and Terra Fighting on the Cleaver for maximum damage output on the close combat. So we go close combat here. It is Terra boosted. How much damage is it going to do to this thing is the question. Not quite half, so that's a little disappointing, as we do take some defense drops as well. So we definitely can't stay in on this thing, unfortunately, and I feel like our best switch here is going to be the Duraludon. So there's not really much of a thought process. We just have to go for the switch. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to switch into the Duraludon, see what he wants to do here, as there it is. We do take the Stealth Rock damage, unfortunately, as he does go Draco Meteor, which could be a problem. That does do so much damage to us, despite us being max HP with an Eviolite. That still does so much damage, so I kind of feel like that might be Specs damage, actually. So because that just did so much damage to us. So unfortunately, it doesn't look like Duraludon's taking another one of those, which really does suck. The best thing we can do is just click Draco of our own, so that's what we're going to do, as he is actually going to go for the switch here. What is he going to want to come in with is the question. Okay, it's going to be the Goodra of his own, so that thing's going to come in as we go for the Draco Meteor here, and we do still get some solid damage on that thing, despite more than likely an Assault Vest on his side. So that is something, as now we have a choice to make once again. And I feel like there's really no reason for us to switch here. He pretty much has to just go Draco Meteor. So I feel like our best play is going to be just to go ahead and stay in and go Draco again, so that's what we're going to do. So we go Draco again, and of course we miss, because why wouldn't we, as he's going to go for a Flamethrower and finish us off. So that sucks, because we do miss out on some chip damage there that could actually end up hurting us in the long run against this thing. So definitely that sucks. Now, we have a little bit of a choice to make here. The question is, what do we come in with to face this Goodra? This Goodra is giving us a lot of trouble. We could come in with the Cleaver. That's a possibility. Or we could come in with the Quagsire. That's a tough call, honestly. I feel like Cleaver is the right play, but I don't know. As much as I want to save Quagsire, I feel like we kind of might need to save Quagsire. But I don't know. Yeah, we'll go Cleaver. Let's go Cleaver. So we're going to come back in with the Cleaver here, and we are going to take some more Stealth Rock damage. And so, once again, we have a monumental choice on our hands here. And the choice is simply, what do we do? Because I feel like he could actually stay in this time. I feel like he might stay in this time, given how weakened Goodra is. I feel like he might stay in this time. So I kind of just want to go close combat on this thing. Kind of feel like going close combat on this thing again. So yeah, let's do it. Let's go close combat here. So no, he does switch out, so that's unfortunate. So definitely not getting too many of the predictions right. So he does come in with Noivern, that does suck. So he comes in with Noivern. He is going to see the Choice Scarf again, which doesn't really matter. Go for the close combat. Once again, it is Terra boosted here, so it is not enough to take the Noivern out. However, we do take the defense drops. However, he is within range that we actually could take him out with another one. With another close combat. So the question is, do we outspeed Noivern? And I feel like we probably don't, actually, because Noivern is extremely fast. So I feel like we probably don't even outspeed this thing, even with the Scarf. And we probably lose Cleaver. So we're kind of in a bad position here, quite honestly, because we don't really have a switch to this thing. So yeah, kind of in a bad way here. I feel like we probably just stay in and hope that we outspeed him. That's really our only play, so we're just going to do that. We'll just click close combat, but we actually do outspeed him. Okay, that's cool. So we go for the close combat here. Does finish the Noivern off from that range, which is incredible. So obviously he's not Scarf. He's definitely Specs, I think. So we get rid of the Noivern and knock him down to 3 Pokemon, which is great. So we tie it back up at 3-3. We do have 2 defense drops now, which is going to kind of leave him open to bring the Entei in here, which is bad news. So that thing is in. Now, we do pretty much have to switch against this thing, and I feel like Quagsire is definitely the switch here. So he probably goes Extreme Speed, if I had to guess, with 2 defense drops against us. So we're going to switch into Quagsire here and hope that we can take a couple, at least 2. So we come in with Quagsire, we take the Stealth Rock damage, as he is going to go ahead and Terrastalize, which is bad news, obviously. So what is he going to Terra into with the Entei? It is going to be a normal type. So kind of figured he would Terra normal Entei. He's probably Choice Band too, if I had to guess. So he does go for the Extreme Speed here. And so yeah, he hits that, and that is, Jesus, that is definitely Choice Band if I've ever seen it. So unfortunately, that might be it for us, because we cannot take another one of those hits with Quagsire for sure. And I don't know that either of our other Pokemon can either. So all we can really do here is just click Earthquake, so that's what we're going to do. He does go for another Extreme Speed here, and there's no way Quagsire is going to take one of those from that range, obviously. So Quagsire goes down, and we go down to 2. So obviously we're in a world of trouble right now. The only hope that we really have is that we're going to go ahead and come back in with Cleaver, and the only hope that we have is that we can take a Choice Band Extreme Speed Terra boosted. I'm sure it's Choice Band based on the damage output to the Quagsire. I kind of think we might not be able to, but our only hope is that we can, so we're just going to go ahead and click Close Combat here, see what he wants to do. Maybe he doesn't want to risk it. No, he does. So this is going to be the moment of truth here. He goes extreme speed. Can we take it? No. No, we can't take it. So Cleaver goes down, and we go down to just one Pokemon. So it looks like Entei is just going to be too much for us here. Our last Pokemon is going to be the Hisuian Electrode, so we are going to come in with that. And we do take the Stealth Rock damage, and I don't really think there's much of a chance we take an attack from this thing. But we're just going to have to choice lock into something, obviously, so we're just going to click Thunderbolt as he goes for it again. Can we take it is the question. No, we can't. It's just too much. We do the Aftermath damage, but that doesn't really matter. Electrode is going to go down there. And that is game. So we are going to lose that one 3-0 against JoeyFontaine, but that was a really good match, actually. Very close, very competitive. Definitely could have played it a little bit better on my side, but that is the game at the end of the day. I do feel like we were a little bit outmatched on paper, but it was pretty close. But yeah, just did not have enough in the tank for that one. But yeah, another classic bout there against the man that they call Joseph Christopher Fontaine Jr. So there you have it. And that's it. Thanks for watching again, everybody. Hope you all enjoyed. Please hit that like button, leave a comment, and or subscribe if you did enjoy. And stay tuned for more new battles in the future. So that's it. And we'll see you next time.